Whis finally explains how Goku doesn't need to transform to use Ultra Instinct, that's right, but calm down because I'm going to explain and show you all this since Goku has reached a completely absurd level. So, without further ado, let's go. From the beginning of his journey, Goku has always been defined by a striking trait, his incessant pursuit of evolution. He fights not only for power or glory, but for the will to challenge himself and surpass his own limits. This spirit is what led him to Ultra Instinct, a technique so elevated that even the gods of Universe 7 have not yet fully mastered it. The arrival of this transformation was not just a new level of power, but a true revolution in the way Goku approaches combat. Ultra Instinct first appeared in the Tournament of Power in a moment of absolute despair against Jiren. It was not something Goku achieved in a planned way like the other Saiyan transformations, but a response from his body to unimaginable pressure. By absorbing the energy of the Spirit Bomb and awakening in that unique state, Goku took the first step on a path that even the angels respect. Initially, Ultra Instinct was unstable. Goku could not maintain the state for long, and his mind was not yet in full sync with his body. It was as if there was a clash between his natural warrior instinct and the need to empty his thoughts so that his body would react on its own. This duality was his greatest difficulty. Unlike previous transformations, Ultra Instinct did not depend only on energy, but on an absolute balance between mind and spirit. As the fights progressed, especially against Jiren and Kefla, Goku began to understand that it was not enough to force this state. He needed to free himself from everything that held him back from hesitation. It was at this point that Whis began to guide Goku better, making it clear that Ultra Instinct is not just a battle technique, but a philosophy. React without thinking, act in perfect harmony with the flow of the fight without the mind interfering. This learning proved even more difficult precisely because Goku is by nature a creative and instinctive fighter who likes to improvise and analyze during combat. Adapting to a form where the body moves on its own required a paradigm shift from him. And it was this shift that showed how Goku always evolves in unique ways. He doesn't just copy what he is taught, he transforms the concept into something of his own. The imperfect Ultra Instinct was his first stage. In it, Goku already demonstrated impressive automatic reflexes, but still mixed reasoning and emotion which hindered his efficiency. Complete Ultra Instinct revealed against Jiren was an explosion of perfection. Every movement, every dodge, and every blow was executed impeccably, as if Goku's body were a natural extension of the universe. However, even this state showed limitations. Physical exhaustion and lack of consistency prevented Goku from using Ultra Instinct whenever he wanted. It was then that, throughout his new battles, he sought ways to mold this power to his fighting style. Goku's true evolution was not just reaching Ultra Instinct, but adapting it to a Saiyan essence. With that, what we call true Ultra Instinct emerged. Unlike the cold and almost divine form of complete Ultra Instinct, this state allows Goku to fight without losing his personality, his emotions, and even his passion for fighting. He found a way to unite automatic instinct with his heart, something that not even the gods imagined was possible. This unique fusion is what makes Goku an incomparable warrior. It is worth noting that this evolution also connects to his Saiyan roots. The race's battle instinct already made him react naturally in intense combat, but now with refined Ultra Instinct, Goku takes this instinct to a cosmic level. It is as if the power of the warrior race had found its maximum expression in someone who never gave up evolving. Another crucial point is how Ultra Instinct changed Goku's perception in the multiverse. Before, he was already recognized as an extraordinary mortal, but by mastering something that even the gods of destruction respect, he became a symbol of the unpredictability of the human and Saiyan race. No god could imagine that a mortal would reach this point. With each battle, Goku demonstrates that Ultra Instinct is not a static power. It grows with him, evolves according to his experiences and emotions. Whether facing Moro, Granola, or Black Frieza, Goku shows that this divine state still has much room to expand. It is likely that we will see new variations even more adapted to his unique style. In summary, Ultra Instinct is not just a transformation in Goku's life, but a milestone that represents his essence. Never stop growing. He broke divine barriers, overcame concepts that seemed unattainable and proved that, in the end, it doesn't matter if you are a god or a mortal. What matters is the determination and the will to become stronger. And that is Goku's true evolution with Ultra Instinct, not just reaching the unattainable, but molding this power to his own way of being, paving the way for even more unimaginable horizons. After so many battles and experiences, Goku reached a point that seemed impossible even for the gods. He no longer needs to transform to access Ultra Instinct. This stage is known as Natural Ultra Instinct, a state in which Goku's body remains in total harmony even in his base form, without the need for an intense aura or a drastic physical change. It is a direct reflection of the evolution not only of his power but also of his mind and spirit. This feat is extremely significant because it eliminates the biggest limitation of the initial Ultra Instinct, the colossal energy expenditure and the difficulty of keeping it active. Now, Goku can move instinctively at any time, whether in simple training or in a real combat against powerful opponents. The naturalness with which he activates Ultra Instinct makes him even more unpredictable. The most impressive thing is that Goku managed to integrate this state into his base form. This means that, even without activating Super Saiyan, he already possesses reflexes, speed, and perception worthy of a divine entity. It is as if the line between mortal and god has blurred. His body no longer needs to be forced into an elevated state. He already lives in that state. But Goku didn't stop there. He discovered that natural Ultra Instinct can be overlaid on other forms, creating unique combinations. For example, by activating Super Saiyan God along with the natural instinct, he combines the calm of red divine power with the automatic reaction of Ultra Instinct, resulting in an incredibly balanced form. It is as if Goku has achieved a perfect symbiosis between technique and energy. In Super Saiyan Blue form, this fusion becomes even more devastating. Blue was already known for its stability and for offering Goku a solid base of divine power. When combined with natural Ultra Instinct, every movement is not only instinctive, but amplified by the colossal strength of the transformation. The result is a warrior who can fight without wasting unnecessary energy and without opening gaps in his defense. This flexibility is what differentiates Goku from other users of divine techniques. While gods of destruction and even Whis have rigid ways of using their powers, Goku brought the typical versatility of Saiyans to Ultra Instinct. He is not limited to a single form. He adapts the instinct to any stage, creating combinations that no one ever thought possible. It is worth noting that this achievement came not only from brute force, but also from the experience accumulated in each fight. From the Tournament of Power to the confrontations against Moro, Gas, and Black Frieza, Goku honed his fighting style, better understanding the nuances of Ultra Instinct and finding ways to maintain balance even under pressure. Each opponent, each moment of near defeat served as a step for him to achieve this naturalness. Natural Ultra Instinct also brought a new posture to Goku. He no longer needs to enter combat trying to force grandiose transformations to surprise the enemy. Often, with just his base form and the perfect reflexes of the instinct, he can already disarm and overcome the opponent. This confidence completely changes the dynamic of the fight, because now Goku can save his heavier transformations for truly critical moments. Furthermore, this evolution shows how Goku achieved something that few Dragon Ball characters have achieved: the absolute balance between power and control. If in the past he depended on the rage of Super Saiyan or the massive energy of fusions and techniques, today he possesses something much more refined, a power that flows continuously as if it were part of his own essence. This form also demonstrates the genius of the Ultra Instinct concept. The goal was never to create just another visually impactful transformation, but to convey the idea that true power is not in losing control, but in finding the state of maximum harmony. And Goku, with natural Ultra Instinct, represents this ideal in its purest form. Now, when he faces enemies like Black Frieza, he is not just at a disadvantage or racing against time to master a new power. He already has a solid base that can be adapted to any situation. This gives Goku a level of versatility and security that even the gods cannot ignore. Beerus, observing this, realizes that Goku is truly breaking barriers that even he did not imagine. In a certain sense, natural Ultra Instinct symbolizes the pinnacle of Goku's philosophy. He always wanted to fight freely without restrictions, guided only by his passion for battles. Now, every movement of his is the perfect representation of that freedom, a body that reacts on its own, a spirit that remains at peace, and a power that does not need exaggerated display to be overwhelming. This evolution, however, is not an end. For Goku, there is never an end point. Natural Ultra Instinct is just another step in his journey. And if he can already use it in his base form, God and Blue, we can imagine that the next step will be something even more surprising. Perhaps the fusion of this power with even deeper instincts of the Saiyan race, like the legacy of the Great Ape, or even a higher stage that surpasses the current concept of Ultra Instinct. At the beginning of the Granola Saga, it was precisely Whis who began to guide Goku to this new stage of Ultra Instinct. He explained that relying only on the transformed state was a limitation, as it left the body subject to wear and energy loss. For Whis, the true goal was to make Ultra Instinct become something natural, part of Goku's daily life, to the point of no longer needing to transform to use it. This was the first seed planted that led Goku to what is called Natural Ultra Instinct. Whis made it clear that at the level Goku was at, it was a mistake to believe that power came from the transformation itself. The true potential would emerge when he managed to keep the instinct active in any state, whether in base form, Super Saiyan God, or even Blue. The training was more about discipline and balance than about forcing energy limits. This teaching completely changed the way Goku viewed power, making him more conscious and patient. It was at this point that Goku began to understand that he no longer needed to seek sudden bursts of power, but rather to let his body and mind flow in perfect harmony. In each training session, Whis put him in situations where he was forced to react without thinking, even in his base form. Gradually, Goku realized that he could activate the instinct in any transformation, molding it to his will and making it an integral part of his essence. Thus, the beginning of the Granola Saga marked the most important transition in Goku's journey with Ultra Instinct. Under Whis' guidance, he learned that true strength was not in showing explosive power, but in mastering that power in a subtle, constant, and natural way. It was this learning that led him to reach a stage where Ultra Instinct is not just a technique, but an extension of who he is as a warrior. This training ended up being decisive, as it was precisely the naturalness acquired with Ultra Instinct that allowed Goku to face increasingly unpredictable enemies. Against Granola and Gas, he already demonstrated that he could freely switch between his base form, God, and Blue, without losing the efficiency of the instinct. This versatility was proof that Whis' teaching had solidified. Goku no longer needed a special state to achieve perfection in combat because his own body had become the perfect weapon. And that is why, looking to the future, especially to the confrontation against Black Frieza, Natural Ultra Instinct becomes the key. Unlike any previous transformation, it does not depend on absurd physical exhaustion or a restricted time limit. Goku now has a tool that can be used from the beginning to the end of the fight without losing consistency. This evolution represents not just another step in power, but the crowning of everything Whis taught him, transforming the impossible into something everyday. But comment on what you thought of all this, and don't forget to like. Thank you very much for everyone's support, and see you next time.